Hi everyone, how's it going? So I filmed this video and then realized after that you can't really see me well. You can't really see my head, but that's okay. I'm not the star of the show. These girls are. So sit back and enjoy the video with half my head. Hey everyone, it's Mel. Welcome back. Today I'm going to pot up a few of my patio containers and I'm going to use my favorite petunia, Supertunia Vista Bubblegum. Why is this my favorite? Because you just need one of these girls, and this pot in about another 4 weeks will be totally spilling over with this beautiful annual. Now I'm in zone 7B, so for me these are annual. They will not come back every year, but that's okay, because once you pot them up, you feed them nice, you get them going, they will last and continue to perform throughout the entire summer. I will not need to change this pot. Like, they're not going to get, when July and August it gets too hot and they start tiring out. That's when they actually really kick it into high gear and they get going. So I can leave these in the pot throughout the entire summer. And what I typically do is during the fall, I'll sort of take them out and put in like fall colors, like oranges and dark hues of yellows and things like that. I'm thinking this year I'm just going to keep them in because they perform so well. They'll last throughout, I think, my first frost, which isn't until November 14th. Now, I say that I'm not going to change it now. I may change my mind once fall gets here, but I think I'm going to keep them in this year. So what we're going to do is we're going to put one plant per pot. I have 3 pots here, and I think I'm going to leave some space. I have some hydrangea, which one? I have the Limelight, not the new one, not Limelight Prime. I have the original Limelight, and they can get up to 7-8 feet tall and wide, or even taller, or depending on how long they've been in the ground. So I have some cuttings from there that I also will put in here to leave. Obviously those are not annual, so they can stay in. I'll leave those in there, so eventually I'll have something tall, so like a thriller, and then these can act as the spillers coming around. And this is really the spiller and the filler. You don't really need anything else when you're using Supertunia Vista Bubblegum. So let's just give you some stacks on here. I don't know if you can see that nicely. I think you can. But so the bubblegum gets, according to this tag, anywhere between 1 to 2 feet wide. I think they get a little bit wider, which is why I'm only using one for this pot. And I also plant them in my landscape up in the front garden, in front of the house, and they get a nice spread on them too. I think I have a picture from last year. I did a mix of Supertunia, I think maybe Bordeaux, like now I can't remember, but they will spread fast and wide. So you don't need that many. If you have a small space, just get one. If you have a big space, just get 2. Really, they really do get that wide. So let's get going. First thing I'm going to do is make some drill holes in my pot with my handy dandy drill. The pots didn't come with holes, so I had to make the holes myself, but I need to make them a little bigger, so we're going to do that first, and then we're going to fill up our pots with some potting soil, and then we're going to get our girls in and get going. unfortunately, I underestimated the amount of potting soil I would need for these pots. I didn't realize these pots were that, I guess, deep and wide. But that's no worries. I can run to my local Ace, get some more bag potting soil, bring that up. But isn't that just already like instant impact? And just in 3 to 4 short weeks, they will take over this entire pot. So I'm super excited for that. So the next thing we need to get done is, and you saw when I was potting them in, I put some Biotone starter fertilizer in there, but I do a weekly feed of the premium water soluble plant feed from Proven Winners. I do this every week. You mix it in water, in just like your watering can, and I do 2 scoopful per 2 gallon can. So that's what we're going to water them in with right now. 2 bags come inside the packet, and it's only, I shouldn't say only, but it's $20. So for 2 bags, I find that this will tend to last me almost through the entire summer, but it really does just depend on how many you have. If you have some in the pots, and then you may have some in your landscape, so you may need more, but for me, this works quite nicely. So let's get them nice and watered. That's it. We're all done. Just a few minutes to give us really great impact throughout the entire summer and well into fall. You'll find that when you go to the store, either your local nursery or your hardware store or the garden center there, that you'll have other options for petunias, and some that are less than the Supertunias or the Proven Winner petunias. And I've used them before, and it just isn't the same. Like, it just doesn't, I mean, don't get me wrong, get what you can get when you need to get it. And I will probably still do that from time to time. But in areas where you want really long-lasting, really great impact, just get the Supertunias. And you don't have to get, again, so many. 1, 2, it will fill up so much area. I got last year from my local hardware garden center, I think it was Lowe's, they had like a 12-pack for $12. And I was like, that's awesome. I need that, because I was clearing out an area that was just had been full of weeds for so long, and the soil wasn't awesome, and I just needed something just to cover the area, just to give that area a pop of something pretty. And I got the 12-pack for $12, and it served its purpose for what I needed it to do. But for my pots, areas that I really want dramatic impact, or for the front landscape and the front of the house, where when people walk by, they're like, oh my gosh, that's so pretty. And I'm like, oh, thank you. I recommend, if you can, to get a few of the Supertunias. Now, they have obviously others. It's not just a bubblegum. Bubblegum just happens to be my favorite. A, that name is so dang cute, but B, this one really will produce for you throughout the entire summer. And you don't really need to deadhead. They say self-cleaning, but if you want a more tidier look, you can pull off the dead blooms yourself. Or you can just leave it, because once they get going and they're in their full mass, you don't even notice any of the spent blooms. So I think it's a really good option if you have a small space and you want huge impact, or if you have a large space and you want huge impact, and you don't have to get as many as you think you might have to get, because the spread is huge. So try Supertunia Vista Bubblegum. Let me know if you try it, what you think in your garden. I just love them. I can't wait for them to start taking off and filling in this whole area. And this is going to look like a cloud of pink just floating here on the patio. So it's going to look really good. Thank you so much, y'all, for hanging out with me. And yeah, take care.